Joining us right now, live from Seahawks training camp, it is tight end Pharaoh Brown. Pharaoh, I don't mean to call out what was just happening, but you were giving Bump a hard time for his Lakers, which, welcome to the club. Hi, I do that all the time. I don't even have a team to hang on to anymore. Who's your team?
My team is the Cavaliers.
Yep.
Keeping class.
I know. When you only got one, I understand.
Wow.
You know, one championship, it's all good.
So you're talking trash.
Anyway. Oh, man, how's camp going, man? This is it's exciting for us, man. We get up for camp every year, see you guys out there doing your thing. Quick story. The first time we were able to come out here, I was standing by the fence over there, and someone asked, man, who's that Brown guy? Where is he from? I gave him the rundown. So fans are already excited about you, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm excited to be here. I mean, just sitting out here right now is just beautiful. Like, you get these great days, 70 and sunny, right on the lake, the greenery, the energy is great. The fans is loud. I mean, it's just like the perfect, like, setup when you just think of, like, good football days, It's not like you're down south and we all just drenched in sweat trying to cover the game. You trying to talk, sweat everywhere. I mean, it's just a very comfortable place. The organization kind of brings that same winning culture. So it's just comfortable here. These guys know who they are. They know what they want to be. The mission is clear. So when you're in that kind of organization from the front, from the top down, it's easy for us to come out here and be ourselves and do our job. And these fans are great. Pretty loud.
Weather-wise, you're making me think of this question. What's the absolute worst conditions you've ever – it could be too hot or too cold. Worst conditions where you're like, I remember this game. Or maybe it was a practice, but you were like, I was miserable.
I was getting to both of them. Like, in Houston, it was just, like, ridiculously hot. Like, we might get a little bit of that when we go to Nashville. And then in Cleveland, I played in the game. It was, like, negative 32.
Ooh-wee.
Was that the Steelers or what am I thinking of?
It was, what was that, 2 years ago?
I know the game you're talking about because that was the whole story.
The things that they got on the side, like those rocket heater things, if you stood like 12 inches from it, it was like cold air. So, like, everybody was standing right on it. And, like, afterwards, it was like 10 jackets that got burnt. Because it's like blowing fire, but you like standing so close trying to get warm. Jackets was catching on fire. They like putting it out, throwing it away. But like if you didn't stand that close to it,
miserable.
You couldn't feel it. It was like cold air.
Oh God.
I noticed something you guys do in your walkthrough. So when I go to my kids' soccer games, I'm on the sideline. I take my shoes off. My wife tells me it's important to touch the earth. It's called grounding. There's something that goes through your body. She knows the science behind it. I saw you out there, no shoes on, with the walkthrough. Is that part of your thinking, or are you just
that was part of my thinking? Is grounding and earthing is what they call it. It's the negative ions from the earth to your body, and they say it's supposed to have all these, health effects and good for the body, the energy. So any chance I get, I always try to. It's an easy fix, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of feels good on the feet.
I was gonna say,
it might be because of these negative ions. I don't know the science of it all either. I'm still learning it.
I just bought in. Why told me to do it? I'm like, cool, let's try it.
That's how a married man right there.
Exactly.
I know the same way.
Yeah, same thing with outfits. Just you got it. Absolutely.
I haven't picked out an outfit in 3 years.
Wife handles all the outfits.
I haven't even bought a pair of shoes, clothes, nothing.
She said, "This is your closet.
Yeah,
it looks like this."
A waitress, my bag is packed. What I'm wearing is already picked out.
Love.
People will be like, "Who your stylist?" I'm like, "I don't got one. My wife just pick out everything. I don't got to think about it."
How long have you guys been married?
It depends on who's counting.
Ooh.
We was together for what? 10 years, 9.5 years before we got engaged.
Yeah.
Then we got married. So I'm counting all 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Married is only like one, but shoot, it wasn't no different from, you know what I mean?
So you guys met young, right?
Yeah, we met young.
Met in college then, huh?
Yeah, we met in college.
Yeah.
Love that.
Met in college.
Same here, met in college.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, your story about Jen, though, is funny because yours was just.
She wasn't rocking with me. I had to pursue her for like 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
yours is the same?
Man. I got my wife. I seen her at a restaurant. She was with her mom, and she thought I was my ugly friend. So she didn't want to hit me back for like 2-3 weeks. No texting me, unread text,
And look at you both now.
Yeah.
You got them.
We got them. We got them. Tight end position is one of the most interesting positions to me. I think it's probably changed the most out of a lot of positions in football, and you guys just have the best personalities. I don't know what it is. Is it because you guys can hang out with the diva receivers, do their stuff, and then, packing in with the offensive line? What is it about the makeup of a tight end that makes y'all so interesting?
I don't know, but that is a real thing. I went to tight end U, and my wife was like, all the tight ends kind of just got the same personality. And everybody get along.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I'm not sure. That's a loaded question because I'm just being myself, and I think a lot of guys just be themselves. And, you know what I mean? The diva receiver, I feel like receivers in general, it's a lot of like ego.
No
offense.
It's all good.
It's you know what I mean? But like tight ends, they just like gritty grinders. Not that, you know what I mean? It's just a different. I don't know what it is. It's just it's like a tight end, man.
You said you went to tight end U?
Yeah.
How was that? Because we don't get the full effect of tight end U. We get whatever they allow us to see. Man, what was that experience like?
Man, it was great. I mean, the way that they put it together from the start to it was like a Fortune 500 company like weekend.
Wow.
Like, I mean, you go in, you getting 3-4 suitcases of gear, cowboy boots. You got, Greg Olsen, T. Kels, and Kittle's dad, Kittle all running it, giving great insight, going over film. Then they had all the stuff for the wives,
That's cool.
Get the wives, they little spa pedicures, lip fillers, Botox. I mean, it was like legit. Like, at first
I want to go to tight end U.
At first I didn't want to, usually I'd be like, man, it's right after OTAs. You'd be like, this is my first week I can go on vacation.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go on vacation. You go there, it was like, what I mean? It was what I gained from it. I kind of went in with, low expectations, but that's kind of been my motto this year. The lower expectations stuff, the more you receive once you going into stuff. So, I kind of just been rolling with the flow like that.
I like it.
Speaking of this year, new offensive coordinator for you either way, but for us, new offensive coordinator in a couple years. What can you tell us about Grubb's offense so far?
Grubb's offense. Where do you want me to start? The offense doesn't stop. I mean, there's so much going on in the offense.
Tell me what you like most about it.
What I like most is probably, I think the running game is easier for me.
Okay.
It's more of a, K9, he's more of a wide zone, stretch and cut back.
Yeah.
I've always had the downhill back. So for me, that's a big 300-pound man standing over me, and there's no one coming to help me. And I have to move this man by myself. And it's just mano a mano. Now that 300 guy lines up over me, now I can use some of my speed and footwork because now I want to get him running, to put it in simple terms so some of the fans can understand
that's good.
what I'm going through out there sometime.
Just in case you guys didn't know.
So for me, it's kind of like getting that. Now I'm getting that 300-pound man on like a heel, and now I can like push him a little bit and help gravity help instead of like, having him just leaning all over me. It's a rough life for us tight ends.
It is, man. I respect it. When I was in high school, I asked my coach, I want to play one snap on the line just so I can say I played every position on offense. Man, and this is a Friday night. We're whooping his team's butt, and that JV defensive lineman put me on my butt, man. So, big respect.
He could say he was in the trenches for one play.
And one play.
He was supposed to give you a screen. What was going on? What was
going on? You want to get in there? Yeah, let's put you up in there.
Did you really think, no, I'm going to lay this guy out?
Of course. Of course I did. Hey, when they picked you up, obviously I went back and I'm looking at your highlights with New England. Man, I think you can tap into something that people might not really expect you to tap into, which is that run after the catch. Man, you got a couple big plays in you.
Oh yeah, the yak, man. That's that. Like I remember writing on the thing. The coach this also is like, what's your game? I was just like grit. Like run game, pass game is the same thing. Like that's just grit. You know what I mean? You got to catch that ball. I don't think just how you went down there on that line, you was like, oh, I'm about to get busy with this dude in the trenches. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel like when I catch the ball. Like nobody's tackling me. My coach used to always tell me growing up, it was like if you couldn't break the first tackle, you couldn't get the ball. So you had to break the first tackle. So it kind of like set with me. Like the first guy is not bringing me down. Yeah. So, I mean, and in my position, I'm only going to get like I just need like 2-3 balls because I'm gonna break, one or two of those for 15.
Yep.
I get 25, 30 yards. That's all I need.
There we go.
You know what I mean? It's that simple for me. So I know that how I've been in my career, the opportunities have been lower, so I got to maximize all those opportunities when I touch the ball. And it's just fun, and people just can't tackle me.
I love that you chose grit as your answer. Let me tell you what, if there are people listening to this, we're going to be airing this on Thursday, they're going to be like, yes, absolutely. So Bump does a lot of coaching, and one of the conversations we've always had is like, do different generations of players embrace ball differently, right? Like, you got old school. I'm sure you have old heads that that are like, well, the game used to be different. And you could say that about any sport. You could say that about basketball in the 90s or whatever. But there's still so much of it. And there is a toughness inherent to being a football player that doesn't matter if it's a newer generation of players or if rules of the game have changed. Like, you could be 22 up here, like Gen Z, completely different generation, and ultimately you want to knock a guy on his butt. Like, you have to be like that to play this game, right?
Oh, definitely. I think some of those is kind of like, we getting smarter as people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got new science. We just got all this stuff. So new information change situation. But, like, some things that just don't change is, like, it don't matter what you're doing. You can, like, just be trying to be healthy in life and, like, getting up and work out. That stuff going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tell my mom all the time, like, she getting up, she going to work out, just trying to stay fit. It's like, Mom, go get in the ice tub. Like, you're working out. You're working muscles. Like, you don't got to go out and do football. Everybody can't do what we're doing. But at the same time, when you're getting active in anything, you got to push through. Like, you can be walking 3 miles, and you might want to walk 5 miles. Like, you don't get to a point to where it's like you think that you can't go no more, and you got to keep going. Mm-hmm. So that grit is something that I think doesn't change, and it crosses over through all aspects of life. That's why a lot of the game. Some people like to keep their kids away from this game, but I think that all kids should play football and should play some kind of competitive sport, even if they're not athletic. And I'm harsh on that because I see some kids and I'm like, it is not athletic at all. So it's hard to watch sometimes because they just don't got the gene. But it's good for them. It's good for them because it helps to teach them how to push through adversity, how to push through things, and no matter what
situations.
Exactly. So I think like some of those things is like, I'm not saying these kids should be out. Like with me, I'm kind of built the way I am because I was young and I couldn't play. So I was younger, but I was playing with, like, I was 6, but I couldn't play in games, and I would keep asking the coach, hey, let me practice. So they basically let me practice, but I couldn't play in the game. So I was like 6 out there practicing with the 8 and the 9-year-olds. You know what I mean? So, that's probably not wise. That's not good. Look at it up. But now new information. I shouldn't have been out there at 6 years old in full pads and helmet. Play flag football, okay? I'm not saying that. Let's play flag football. That wasn't wise. But I definitely think that everybody should kind of do that because that grit, that hard work and generations. You know what I mean? And this is with anything. I mean, I went to Nickelodeon. I'm probably getting off topic, but I went to Nickelodeon, and I have beautiful kids, beautiful wife, and they just thought that my kids and wife were like these top creators. Like, it was like all the top creators, YouTubers, everybody was at this Nickelodeon thing. I'm just living out a childhood dream of mine. You know what I mean? Slime time back in the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That was my stuff. So I'm full kid mode. You know what I mean? The kids having a great time. So I'm like, man, I'm looking at these people. I'm like, they just recording. Yeah. So I'm like, we could do this. I mean, are you kidding me? My kids are dropped down like freaking steal the show. Man, trying to keep up with that content on social media.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
You talk about grit, man. That's some hard work. That's some long
A different kind of grit. A different kind.
Don't mess up a reel.
No.
That reel, man, you got to go back on that reel. Man, that editing with I got big fingers, man. Dog, hey, messing up on them seconds and then you got, shouts out to all the creators, man. Anything that you do, all this stuff takes hard work and grit. You got to push through, man. I'm probably behind about 3 weeks on content.
No lies.
All right, last one before we get you out of here, man. We know I get you to practice. So you talk about your grit. Is that a mom trait? Is that a dad trait, or is that something that they both kind of instilled in you?
I think it's an environment trait. I grew up in Cleveland, and I mean, you had to have the grit. The environment made you have to have it. Everybody had it, and if you didn't have it, it would be way harder. I mean, everybody got it. You know what I mean? It's just like a thing. And my mom kind of instilled it to me, and top down, grandmas. You know what I mean? I grew up with all women, so I had to have it. My nephew, who is 15, 16, was the first boy in the family. So I grew up with, my mom had all sisters, they kids had all sisters. So I'm talking like 14 to 1. So all the like middle schools, boys messing with my girls, I'm the only one that can come out there and fight. You know what I mean? So I was a lone wolf out there. My teammate was like, my sister would come out and fight boys with me because I was the only guy. So like,
she's like, tag me in.
Yeah, like it just be like all the little, like the dumbest stuff ever. But like everybody been kids and know it. But like, most people come on, they got their brother. Like, I was the only person that they could come run to. It wasn't like, call your other cousins. Everybody had to come.
It was like third time this week.
Yeah, right.
You guys need to calm down.
I got all these beautiful girls, and I'm trying to take up for all of them and stuff. So man, I had to be gritty and feisty, and like it just kind of made me who I am today. So I would say it was I would say it was a mom trait. Mm-hmm. I think moms actually are like more tougher on boys than usual.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like with my boys, I got 2 boys, and like my wife is like freaking, and they be like, "Oh, you're soft for your boys. You're soft." I'm like, they're only 3 or 4. Nice. Wait until they're 8 or 9.
All right. He is Pharaoh Brown. Pharaoh, this has been fun, man.
Yeah.
We've had a good time. It's been so nice talking to you. This is going to be a fun season to watch, and we can't wait.
Devin, thanks for having me. I enjoyed the conversation with
Thank
you all.
you.